The film opens with Toorop waking from a deep sleep, disturbed by a nightmare predicting an event in 6 days. Formerly a soldier and now a smuggler in Eastern Europe, Toorop excels with weapons, hand-to-hand combat, and war strategies. Set in a future similar to ours but plagued by more conflicts, returning to his dilapidated apartment, carrying rabbit meat from the market. He begins cooking, showcasing his impressive culinary skills, almost like a renowned chef. Before eating, he takes a moment to pray. Suddenly, armed soldiers burst into his room, guns aimed at him. Despite the tense situation, Toorop remains calm, already suspecting the attacker's identity. It turns out to be Carl, a terrorist who has troubled him before. Using his skills, Toorop quickly overpowers Carl. After handling Carl, Toorop dons his jacket and follows the soldiers to a tank parked on the road. Inside, he meets Gorsky, along with Gorsky's wife and daughter. Gorsky requests Toorop to act as a courier, transporting a young girl to New York. Initially hesitant, Toorop agrees when promised a new identity, which he values more than money. Toorop is soon dropped off in a field and waits for a helicopter. He climbs into a car hanging from the helicopter, falls asleep, and wakes up when it lands in the rocky hills of Kyrgyzstan. A woman from a monastery, Sister Rebecca, introduces herself as Aurora's nanny and sets 3 conditions for Toorop. He opens the trunk to store Aurora's bag and examines a map resembling an old atlas sheet with Google Maps-like details to plan their route. Aurora and Sister Rebecca join him, and their journey begins. They drive through the desert, reaching Kazakhstan near the Russian border, where they plan to continue by fast train. Toorop instructs Aurora to change into clothes from the market while they are secretly followed. Aurora, unfamiliar with the outside world after living in the monastery, struggles with the crowded train station. Toorop buys tickets from a scalper, and when Aurora becomes scared and runs, Toorop and Sister Rebecca chase her through a dramatic parkour-style sequence to catch the train. On the train, they find no seats. Toorop tries to buy seats from a Mongolian family, who only agree to help after Aurora converses with them in their language. The train arrives in Vladivostok, Russia, and they move to an evacuation area where officers check them. Toorop then takes Aurora and Sister Rebecca to a battle arena, where he meets his old friend Finn and seeks help to reach Canada. After finalizing the deal, Toorop quickly exits the arena with Aurora and Sister Rebecca. They are confronted by a group offering $1 million for Aurora. Surrounded, Toorop fights them off while Sister Rebecca demonstrates her kung fu skills. A fighter in the ring saves Aurora, secures the ring door, and Toorop enters the ring to calm her. Their interaction becomes a competition. Toorop almost wins the intense fight, but Aurora asks him to stop. As the round concludes, Sister Rebecca and one of the boys reveal they were sent by Aurora's father. Aurora decides to join the group of youths. Toorop and Sister Rebecca chase after them, discovering that the group are parkour experts. The chase is interrupted by a gunshot from Toorop. Aurora, not wanting anyone to be hurt, decides to stay with Toorop again, and they manage to escape. Emotions run high until Sister Rebecca manages to calm Aurora down. The following morning, Toorop, Aurora, and the refugees began a perilous journey across the frozen sea, a result of global warming. Along the way, they encountered a massive submarine emerging from the ice. The refugees rushed towards it, creating chaos and preventing everyone from boarding due to limited time. The submarine's captain ordered a retreat into the ice, leaving behind those who couldn't make it, and some soldiers even fired at the refugees trying to get on board. Aurora boarded the submarine and attempted to sabotage its controls, but Toorop intervened. Suddenly, Aurora appeared possessed and then lost consciousness. Later, Sister Rebecca revealed to Toorop her history with Aurora, explaining that she had cared for Aurora since infancy. Everything had been fine until 3 months ago, when a doctor prescribed pills that altered Aurora's behavior. Toorop was astonished to learn that Aurora could speak 19 languages from the age of 2 and possessed unexpected skills with various tools. At the same time, Finn raised concerns that Aurora might be carrying a virus. Soon after, they arrived in the Bering Strait, Alaska, and continued their journey across the icy desert by jet ski. 2 drones began following them and dropping bombs. Toorop distracted the drones by drawing their attention away from Aurora, while Finn escorted Aurora and sister Rebecca toward the border. Despite relentless drone attacks, Toorop bravely fought back. Aurora and sister Rebecca rushed to help Toorop when he was injured, with Aurora using her hands to remove metal shards from his body. Suddenly, Finn aimed a gun at them, but Toorop shot him in self-defense, as Finn was attempting to betray them. They finally reached Canada and spent the night there. Toorop prepared a delicious meal that impressed sister Rebecca, but their joy was short-lived when Aurora predicted their deaths in New York. Later, Toorop and Aurora talked under the night sky, with Toorop sharing his past experiences in war and his desire to return to New York. Taking Aurora with him was his only way back to America. After freshening up at a hotel, they continued their journey to New York by plane. Upon arriving in New York, they entered a high-tech house, where Aurora was shocked to see news about the destruction of their monastery in Kyrgyzstan. Toorop began to realize that there was a larger plan involving Aurora. Suddenly, Gorsky contacted Toorop, accusing him of the attack on the abbey, and sending a doctor to examine Aurora, while planning to disable the GPS on Toorop's passport. Shortly after, 2 groups approached Toorop's apartment, one from Neoli and the other from Gorsky. The doctor examined Aurora and left, which led Toorop to become emotional as he discovered sister Rebecca's dishonesty. Their argument was interrupted when Aurora emerged from the room and revealed she was pregnant with twins. Soon after, the leader of Neoli contacted Toorop, instructing him to place Aurora in the car waiting outside. However, Toorop had other plans. He and sister Rebecca took Aurora to the car, but decided against handing her over. A fierce gunfight erupted in the city, and as they planned to escape using the subway, a member of Gorsky's team launched a missile linked to Toorop's passport. Amid the chaos, Aurora walked fearlessly through the gunfire, while sister Rebecca fought off mercenaries. Toorop, who survived the explosion, joined sister Rebecca in the fight until she was shot and killed. Determined to protect Aurora, Toorop pressed on, but another missile was fired. Unexpectedly, Aurora pulled out a gun and shot Toorop, killing him instantly. The next day, Toorop awoke in a medical facility owned by Dr. Derrier, who had revived him by implanting a system to replace his damaged body parts. Derrier explained that he had implanted artificial intelligence into Aurora's brain while she was still a fetus, as requested by Neoli. He also revealed that Gorsky had attempted to kill him but had failed. Derrier then equipped Toorop with advanced tools to extract his last memory before dying, revealing that Aurora had asked him to take her home just before the missile explosion. Derrier urged Toorop to find Aurora. The following day, the Neoli leader tracked Toorop by visiting Derrier, who had previously killed Gorsky. The Neoli leader and Derrier argued over Aurora, whom they both saw as their child. Derrier accused the leader of using religion to exploit Aurora for power. After killing Derrier, the Neoli group began hunting Toorop. Meanwhile, Toorop arrived at his house and found Aurora. 6 months later, Aurora gave birth to twins but passed away shortly afterward. It turned out that Aurora's sole purpose was to give birth, and her life beyond that was not part of the program implanted in her brain. Toorop then became the father of Aurora's 2 children.